Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for Sunday, January, what is it, the 6th, 2019. I'm trying to do that whole remember what year I'm in, but, you know. Anyway, looking around, I guess I had a better reading week than I thought. I think I've had a few bumps in the road kind of thing. I've already had one DNF this year. Which is kind of sad. But we'll get to that in a second. So I'm going to just talk about the stuff that I finished, and then what I'm in the middle of, and what I'm hoping to read in the next week. My stats videos will be coming out in the next few days, just in case you guys are waiting for those, because again, I had to get stuff together, and I had some issues with Goodreads of trying to find that year in books thing, and finally I just Googled it and found it. I'm like looking everywhere for it, going, why does everybody else get this but not me? Well, clearly I still don't know how you get to it, but I Googled it and figured it out. So anyway, so I'll be doing my I'll be doing a December stats, and then I will do another video for the whole year. So I love stats, so you get to look forward to that. Anyway, so for reading this week, on Sunday the 30th of December, I finished my reread of The Three Musketeers. I made it before the end of the year. It may have taken me all year, but I settled down and just read the last part of it, and I was just so much better than I remembered again. I know last week I had some kind of, said something about like I wasn't quite sure this was still one of my favorite books. Oh no, it is still one of my favorite books. And as I said, I did put it in one of my favorite rereads this year because it was just great. I mean, again, I had a little doubt in the middle because I didn't remember how it all went, but I'm so glad that I stuck with it. And again, I was going to, but you know what I mean? Like, I was just kind of worried. Anyway, but again, The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas is, I think is a classic that everybody should read because it's just fun. It's not, there is some serious points and there's some sadness and a lot of action, and it's just funny. I laugh most of the way through this. It's really good. I'm looking forward to picking up 20 Years After is the next book in the D'Artagnan romances. So I will be picking that book up here. I'm going to give myself a couple months to go before I pick it up, but if you don't see me pick it up by April, somebody yell at me because I told myself I would try to read it started in April. So if I don't start it by March or April, then you can guys say, hey, aren't you supposed to start reading that? Anyway, I'm going to read more of those books this year. That's one of my big goals, is that series, because I've had the second book to that series since years. Anyway, it's been years, decades. Anyway, and so I need to get to that. I did want to mention, I already did one reread this year. When I did my DNF, which I'll explain in a minute, but I went back and reread Cherish Hard by Nalini Singh. Again, anything she writes, I read, and this is one of the contemporary romances that she does this series, and I enjoy it. I really want to read the next book, Rebel Heart, which is the one that came out this last fall, and I really enjoyed it. Or was it fall or the summer? I don't know, but I do want to read that one too. But now I've read this one, I'm ready to read the next one, and you know, I just enjoy reading her books, clearly. So the book that I DNF'd, I'm super sad about. I heard about this on Kate Howe's channel, and she was saying it was one of her favorite new mystery series kind of thing. And I just couldn't get into it, and that is And Only to Deceive by Tasha Alexander. This is a late Victorian mystery series, I guess. It has to do with Lady Emily Ashton and how she has been widowed for a little bit, and so she's still in mourning, and it's only then that she really starts to get to know her husband from what other people are saying and things that she's found around his house, her home. And I loved the beginning, like the first 30 pages. I was like, I am sold. This is great. I love this premise of a woman who didn't really know her husband, and then she's learning about him through his journals and through his books, and picking up a lot of the stuff that he was interested in, getting to know that stuff, and that all was interesting. But the character just started to grate on me by, again, I stopped at 150 pages in out of 3 think it's just over like 310 or so. And I pushed myself to read this, and then I set it down a couple of times in the last week and a half, and I'm just like, I can't, no. She just drove me crazy, and I don't understand how this could possibly be a series. Isn't that horrible? So I can't, I know other people love this. I know other people have mentioned it and are reading on in that series. I wish them well with it. There's certain little things that were starting to bug me, and as much as I even want to know how the mystery all wraps up, not enough. Like I got to the point where I didn't care enough. So I figured it was time to set it down, and I'm just going to move on, which is really sad that, you know, my first book that I'm reading in 2019 is a DNF, but these things happen, and I have to get better about just going, I just need to move on and not force myself to read stuff. And again, I didn't pay much for the book, and I will resell it or donate it if I have to. Yes, Cooper. I know you guys see Cooper all the time. Truman is around here. He's just camera shy. Anyway, so I'm still listening to Sherlock Holmes in my car. I'm doing the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes right now. I'm doing that section of it. So I've done all the short stories this last week, except for I got one more left to go. So I'll probably finish this up to either today or tomorrow. So this audiobook is really good. Again, it's the Stephen Fry one. And again, I'm taking this kind of slow, but I know that there's like Sherlock Holmes read-alongs all this month, like at Winx Ink. And I think it's Brian's Bookshelves. Someone else is doing some Sherlock Holmes, but I was gonna pick up the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes to listen to, so I just did it this week to do that. And I have another audiobook from the library that I'm gonna try. So I need to get to that. So I'm only gonna, as I said, I'm gonna stop at the last. They have one more story in this for the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and then I don't remember what the next section is. The next one is the memoirs. So then I will take a break for a month or two, like I have, because I think I listened to this back in October. So I'm taking breaks. Like I'll just do a section of Sherlock Holmes every once in a while. It's great to break it up. And again, these are all rereads for me, but I don't remember them. I read them when I was a preteen. I don't remember most of these. So it's been really cool. So then, yes, Cooper. Yes, I know. Everybody loves to see you, just not the back of your head. Can you sit down? Can you sit down? Sit down? No? No. Anyway, guys. So, you guys have seen, if you haven't seen or have seen, I'll have it linked down below. I started my Try the Chapter challenge for myself. I'm doing my first round of urban fantasy novels, the first book in series, because I have tons of them up here. So the first one that I decided on was Written in Blood by Anne Bishop. So this is the one I am starting to read now. I just started yesterday. So I'm hoping to get a little farther than I did. I didn't read a whole lot yesterday because of other things. But this one is an alternate history urban fantasy where the others, that's the series name, The Others, are like the shapeshifters and vampires and other things, a lot of other things, and they pretty much rule North America. But the humans have little settlements, or the big towns, but settlements. So like they have different names. Like Hollywood is like Sparklewood or something, Sparkle something. I can't remember. It was funny when I read it. Anyway, and this is taking place in I think in upstate New York, close to the Great Lakes, and so it's like the Lake District or something. And they have, the others have this cool little, they have little sections inside of the human cities, and they have courtyards where others live. And there's the tension between the two species and things. And so our main character, Meg, is on the run from someplace where she was being held, and now she's become the human liaison between the others and the humans in their shipping department, because they all want the goods that the humans make, but they don't want to deal with the others to drop off the goods, so they need a human to do that. So again, I'm not very far into it. I'm really enjoying the world building. I'm really enjoying the character so far. It is third person, which again, not most of my urban fantasy is, which is cool. It's just giving more perspectives. I did not expect we were going to get the law enforcement, the human law enforcement, as well as the others have theirs, or I guess their way of doing it. But I just, so far, we've had a couple of different perspectives. I think there's two main ones, is Meg, and then the head of guy of the courtyard, which is Simon. So I'm really enjoying this so far. I know a lot of people have liked this series in the past. This is one that I was recommended a couple of years ago. I think I picked it up after I had made some video about some of my favorite reads and stuff. And this was one that somebody had mentioned. I'm like, oh, I do have that, or I got it, or something. And I do actually have a couple books past this one. I think I have the first 3 altogether. So if this turns out to be as good as it is right now, like all the way through, I might be binging the series. We'll see. Because I think there's 5 in the first series, and then there's 2 offshoots, or that's another series. I'm not quite sure. But I'm really looking forward to that. But I'm also looking forward to those other 4 books that I tried out. So we'll see what happens. And then the only other thing that I'm kind of picking up here and there is the Bullet Journal Method by writer Carol. This is... I don't know if I've hauled this. Probably not. This is probably one of the last things I bought in, probably in December. It's probably supposed to be, I don't know, I'll have to look. I don't remember if this was in any of my videos. But anyway, I'm not a huge bullet journal person. I do it every once in a while especially when I'm trying to line everything up. Again, I'm a scheduler by trade, so I do things my way, but I like the bullet journal ideas of how you figure out, or find your way of your to-do list and your collections and things. And so I'm going to be making also a book journal here pretty soon. I had one that has my little graphs of how much I've read and stuff. That's just for fun. But I want to do a little bit more extensive and track more of my reading and writing as well, and books and stuff, and how much I'm buying and everything. I want to be able to see that stuff of how much, because I think I'm a much more visual person. So, but I thought I'd get this one and read. I mean, I've found the system interesting, and I've used it a few times. As I said, I don't use it all the time, but the book so far is good. I've read just the introduction last night. So I'll probably read in little sections, because the chapters are pretty short, and I'll just read it a little bit here and there. So you might be seeing this for a long time unless I binge it one day, but because it's not a hard read, but it's just, it's interesting. And as I said, I want to get back into kind of structuring some parts of my, so my work life is fine. Like, that's not the problem. It's when I get home and I don't do anything and I want to get some stuff done. So that's going to be that. So those are the books that I've read, I've DNF'd, and the ones I'm going to read into the next week. Let's see, is there anything else? Well, the audiobook that I'm going to try is the Real Lolita. I can't remember, is it Sarah Weinman, I think is it by? I'm not sure who her last name. Anyway, so I've heard it about on a lot of other people's channels, so it's another nonfiction. So I'm hoping to listen to that pretty soon. And then I have another nonfiction audiobook to listen to after that I have, but we'll see what goes on. But I'm going to try the library book, as I said, as soon as I finish the last story and The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So anyway, I think that's it. How is your guys' reading going? I'm off to a little rocky start in the year, but I don't think that's anything, like, I'm not taking it as a sign. I'm just saying, that's how it turns out. I had a really, I finished Three Musketeers. I was kind of on a high, and then to get into a book that I was like, meh, didn't work out. But I'm really enjoying Written and Read, so I'm excited. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.